Well, friends, this award, the RI District 3140 presents the Outstanding Women Activist Award to Ms. Priya Dutt in recognition for her accomplishments in the area of cancer charity and political activism at this WOW District Conference. Please. This, ma'am, is the certificate of this child whose education is going to be supported in honor of your visit to us. Focus on this. That's the child.
Thank you.
And this is a special gift from our club for you. Thank you so much. Your response, please.
Your response, Priya ji, and also an insight into the kind of work you do, especially related to women empowerment.
I would first of all like to thank Rotary for having me here today. And this award means a lot. And it truly humbles me to be up on the stage with great personalities like Kabita ji, with, when I just heard Jodi and her work. And for you all to have thought of me to speak on women empowerment. I'm very humbled and flattered. I usually don't prepare a speech, so please bear with me because I'm going to speak from my heart. And I'm going to speak through whatever experiences I've gathered in my years of growing up, in my years of work in politics, and my work in society. And I want to begin with a quote, and I'm sure most of you might be big fans and should know this great musician called Jim Morrison. Everyone knows him, right? And I came across this quote, and I just thought it was very, very apt. And he says, the most important kind of freedom is to be what you really are. You trade in your reality for a role. You trade in your sense for an act. You give up your ability to feel, and in exchange, put on a mask. There can't be any large-scale revolution until there's a personal revolution. On an individual level, it's got to happen inside you first. And I think the basis of what I'm going to speak is going to be what I see and felt reading this quote. When we talk about women, and the buzzword today being woman empowerment, and believe me, that in the last 1 month, I've spoken on women empowerment at least 4 times. And I always say that aren't we born empowered as women? Aren't we inherently empowered as women? I'm sorry, I know there are a lot of men in this audience, and I want to say that it is not undermining you, because one can't do without the other, and you are as important in this partnership. But as women, we have some qualities which I don't think even a man can have. We can do a lot of things that men can do, but what we can do, I don't think a man can do. Right? So when we talk about empowerment, it is really conditions we've been brought up by, of the do's and don'ts, of what a woman can do, what a young girl can do, and what she can't do, and what she shouldn't do. When you take away the conditions from that young child's mind, she will be able to do anything she puts her mind to. And that's where parenting comes in. And I talk from my experience because when I was growing up, I never felt different. When I came into politics, many people asked me, oh my God, how is it being a woman in politics? I said, I haven't felt different really. I never felt that I was lower than the others or I was treated differently. And it all depends on how you have been conditioned since you were a child. I have to give credit to my parents, especially my father, who I grew up with in my formative years, who always allowed me to fly, who gave me a freedom to choose what I want to do. I made my mistakes, I stumbled, I fell, but I always got up and walked again. And that is what empowerment is. When we speak about women today, I attended a function at the S&DT College, which is going to celebrate its centenary year. And I realized, my God, 100 years back, we had the first women's college in India. 100 years back. Not many countries can boast this. So we as a country, I think, have grown in leaps and bounds. And I was talking to the principal and she says, you know, education at that time, the literacy rate at that time was just 1% where women is concerned. And today, more women are going to schools and colleges and taking up professions. That is women empowerment. Through my work in the social field, and I've always, I think even my 10 years in politics, my heart has always been in my work in the social field, and I used politics as a platform to reach out to so many more. And I thank politics for that, for the last 10 years. It has given me a platform, it gave me recognition, it allowed me to work even better. And through these 10 years, I had an opportunity to meet so many unsung heroes. Today I stand here as Priya Dutt because you know me as a politician, as Mr. Sunil Dutt's daughter, as Mr. Sanjay Dutt's sister. But there are thousands of women out there whose work goes unrecognized. Those are the heroes we need to recognize. We need to give recognition to. In the field of education, in the field of health, in the field of waste management, in every way. And I'm sure that the Rotary and all the members of the Rotary come across so many unsung heroes. So many of them you support on a regular basis. And your work is something which we all look up to, and I think we all have somewhere been beneficiaries of Rotary in our small contribution to society. When I say about the premise of what Jim Morrison said, women usually struggle with their roles. I have struggled with my roles as well, as a mother, as a sister, as a politician, as a daughter, and we are constantly fighting to do our best in every single role. And that is the inherent quality of multitasking which we are born with. And I have to say, and I'm proud of it, that I never compromised on any of my roles. And I did a good job in whatever responsibility I had. I remained a good mother. I think I did pretty good work in politics as well. And I was supportive as a sister. I was loving as a daughter. So number one, I think for all the women out there, there is nothing you cannot do. And there are no do's and don'ts. That's only the conditions we have been brought up by. We need to be very comfortable in whom we are. You know, sometimes when I speak to women, they are struggling to be someone they're not. I'm a woman and I'm proud of it. I don't want to be like a man. I'm very comfortable in being a woman. I'm comfortable by myself. I'm comfortable with my strengths and I'm comfortable with my weaknesses. So we just need to be proud for who we are. I was watching a wonderful, not a wonderful really, I think a very touching moment on television when we lost a great soldier, Colonel Rai, and they showed his 11-year-old daughter giving the Gurkha cry when they were about to light his pyre. And tears rolled down my eyes when I saw that, because what I saw in that young girl's face was strength and pride, with even in grief. She was grieving, but she was proud, and she held her head up high. That is what our young girls of tomorrow are. I saw Barkha Dutt interviewing the women soldiers, the battalion of women soldiers, who came forward and said, now we are ready for combat. That was a moment which we should feel proud of. So on a positive note, all I can say that we are not doing too bad. I think we are doing very well. And very recently, through our Nargis Dutt Charitable Trust, we adopted a village in Palghar. It's a tribal belt. And in my interaction with the young women and the students, the young girls there, I was really overwhelmed to see how enthusiastic they were. We distributed bicycles to them because high school, they walk about 5 kilometers, and it was very difficult for the girls to do that. But they were so excited because they had bicycles now and they could go to school. That is how much the desire is in young women today to learn. And how can we contribute? In many, many ways. When you heard Mr. Jalota speak about lack of toilets, and I remember as Member of Parliament, I spoke on toilets long back, and when I spoke in a forum, you know, people laughed that, my God, as Member of Parliament, you're speaking on toilets? But for me, that is and was one of the most important things, especially for the dignity of women and the safety of women. So nothing is too small because it affects the lives, the health, the dignity and safety of women. So there are lots of ways that each person can contribute, and it doesn't have to be large contributions. It can be just adopting like one child, adopting one toilet. But there is so much that can be done and has to be done. So when we talk about philanthropy, we need to see more philanthropy in our country, which is part of our culture really. But yet, our NGOs go abroad to collect funds. So I request the Rotarians, and I don't even have to tell you that because I think philanthropy is something which runs in your blood, and the work the Rotarians have done over the past so many years is something which everybody knows of. So I want to congratulate all of you and just say, continue the good work. We have lots and lots of projects lined up for you. So I don't think there are dearth of projects for the Rotarians here. NGOs, people who work in the social field, are the backbone of our country. What the government can't do, the NGOs and people like Kabita ji do, like Jodi does. So I think supporting causes like this is very, very important. I once again, I know I've spoken for too long. I would like to thank each and every one of you here today. I'd like to thank everyone on the dais and for inviting me here, and I felt truly honored and privileged to be here to speak to you today. Thank you so much.